The Ouya, a new console upcoming next year, 2013, is the most exciting video game news I've heard all year. And I just heard it recently. I mean, I know this thing's been around for a while, this project, on Kickstarter. But I just recently found out about it. Nobody ever mentioned it before. Nobody's ever been talking about it. So when I found out about the Ouya, I was just like, oh yeah, this sounds awesome. What is up, guys? Welcome back to ReviewSpace. And honestly, I mean, this is more exciting than the Wii U. This is more exciting than the Xbox 720, the PS4, because it's a brand new console, and it's an independent, beyond the Microsoft, the Sonys, and the Nintendos. This is not from those companies. It is a fourth gaming console, if you want to look at it that way. And it's just so fascinating. Oh man, the Ouya. And yes, that's what the console is called. Ouya. And I've seen like little, I guess it was like early models or maybe a prototype of the controller. And it's got a similar button layout to like the Super Nintendo, Xbox, PS, PlayStation controller. The 4 buttons, instead of X, B, Y, A, or whatever letters, it's O, U, Y, A, and so that's sort of obviously it's a reference to the actual system, the name of the system. Okay, so essentially this little new console is gonna feature free-to-play games. It's gonna be built upon an open source software. It's gonna be running on some kind of Android mobile operating system, and this person, the person that's behind this, is this woman named Julie Ehrman, and I don't know too much about like the people working behind it. This guy's like this guy named Behar, and he's working on the design of the project. And aside from that, I mean, as far as the actual games, that's the most exciting part. It's free to play. I mean, it's supposed to be like downloadable games, and maybe games that have some sort of download features where you gotta pay for extra content or something like that. You can purchase upgrades or stages or some kind of items, but it's basically a free-to-play type of form. Like they say, all the games will be required to have some kind of free-to-play. They also have this thing with modding, where that's another feature that they highlighted, where people are going to be allowed to, I guess for a lack of a better word, take it apart and actually mod it and actually hack into the system and do what they want to do with it. Actually modify it to their own needs. And they're actually promoting this. It's not like the PlayStation and Sony gets kind of butthurt about getting hacked and so on and so forth. They actually encourage the whole like, hey, the modding community, go check this out, which is a really good freaking advertisement for new players and people who actually want to get into the modding thing and actually be involved in that. It also says here, Ouya will include a Twitch TV right out of the box, and it's basically an app that has an access to the onLive video gaming stream, so you can like watch I guess streams of StarCraft and games like that, like online games. Oh man, I mean, I saw some, I guess they were games. I mean, I'm not sure if those are the real games or maybe just a demo, but they had some gameplay type of footage there. I'm not even sure if it's 100% real, but they look like Flash games. It's like 2D Flash games, things that you would find on Newgrounds. I saw like this little like stick figure guy running on this like 2D plane. It looked kind of interesting. They also said the game is also going to be able to run Minecraft. Now, as far as the hardware specs, I mean, a lot of this is just very new to me. It's got 1 gig RAM, 8 gigs of internal flash storage. So that would be kind of cool, like the idea of a flash console. I mean, just that, the fact that it can run flash games primarily, or if it would run flash games primarily, Newgrounds type of games, like wow, like Alien Hominid and all this stuff. Not saying that those are the games that will run, I'm saying that those stylistically, design-wise, games like that. It's just a fascinating idea because it's independent game makers. It's not gonna be. I'm sure they're gonna have some big companies working on this, most likely, but the emphasis is on indie gaming. And HDMI connection to the TV, support up to 1080p, which is nice. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, a wireless controller too. 2 analog sticks, a D-pad, 8 action buttons, and a system button, and a touchpad even. And even the size of the actual console is going to be around the size of a Rubik's Cube. A Rubik's Cube! That is tiny! It's like, can fit in the palm of your hand. That is so, it's so kind of portable, you know? Wow! On July 31st, 2012, Square Enix announced that Final Fantasy III would be made available as a launch title for the Ouya. Wow! That is insane! Namco Bandai was in discussion to bring their games to the system. Wow. I can just imagine, like, a Tekken coming onto the frickin' Ouya, but most likely more the arcadey 80s stuff, like maybe like Pac-Man games and stuff like that. But you just never know from Namco, you know, they have a wide selection of different IPs and games and properties. What else is very notable? I mean, this is just a big independently funded, you know, kind of system too. I mean, this was a Kickstarter project. I believe it's the most successful Kickstarter project for the gaming aspect, and they have like 8.5 million, over 8.5 million cash that's already been like invested in this. So it you know, was able to successfully go beyond their goal. The Kickstarter goal was only like, I think, under $1 million. Now supposedly, like, the introductory price is around $100 US. So I think that's relatively fair price. That's a pretty damn good price compared to like a Wii U that's like $300, $350, you know, or any of the other big company consoles. The release date is apparently next year, March to April 2013. The pre-order is March. April would be the actual retail. I am just so excited. I can't even believe this. The developer is called Boxer 8. I've never heard of them. Wow, this is just the craziest news when it comes to gaming. This is the most exciting thing I've seen in a long time when it comes to video game consoles. I mean, I've talked about having a 4th console, you know, and just, this is perfect. This is the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like, this is an indie funded type of console. It's not a big company. It's not Sony. It's not Microsoft. It's not Nintendo. It's a very small company, and it's just like, wow, what the? Came out of nowhere. And it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense to have this kind of an unknown company, and they just came out of nowhere with this project, and they're building it. It's very ambitious, and it's got a lot of it's heavily invested into the future, and there's all these different features in it, like, you know, you can mod it, and they try to cater to that demographic, to sort of that modding community, and make it very available and accessible to all types of gamers. Like they mentioned in this ad, or whatever it is, this kind of Kickstarter page, they said that it's going to have different genres like shooters and RPGs and action and all this stuff. Like, wow, that's exciting. And they also had an emphasis on the TV. Like, the Ouya is going to be played on a television. And so that's kind of a cool thing, where they want to maintain that tradition of consoles on the television. It's like, it's going to be connected to the TV. You're going to be able to play it using a controller. You know, just as it's always been like that. Now, I don't know about this whole thing where consoles are dying, and it's going to be replaced by, you know, smartphones and smart touchpads and all this. You know, the computer is going to replace the consoles. The PC is going to replace the and so on and so forth. I don't know about that. I think that consoles are still going to be around for years. It's still popular. They still sell. So I don't know. I mean, you got the Ouya coming out, so there you go. I think it's just a matter of direction. How do people get their games? The pricing, you know, that's what matters. The quality of the games. is it all about the cash? I mean, come on. Anyway, this looks absolutely crazy. Go check out the links in the description. I'll provide it there. The Ouya Kickstarter project. I think the project, the donation thing is already done. It's finished. It's been finished funding. So that's pretty much it. I mean, this looks so cool. The Ouya, I'll probably check it out, honestly. It looks dope. That's it for this episode of Review Space. Thank you for watching, and until next time, ciao.